Understanding the investment principles. View from the chair. The chairs of 3 national portfolio organizations share their views on how their organizations are responding to the investment principles. B-roll video and photographs of the speakers, activities, and locations illustrate the spoken word. Claudia Kenyatta is a brown woman in her 40s. She is on the board of Battersea Arts Centre, a home for extraordinary artists and a world-class theatre and performance venue.
One of the recent innovations that Battersea has introduced in terms of its governance is the creation of a new creative partnerships group designed to give artists, young people and communities a better and richer opportunity to input into the organisation and its decision making.
James Touzel is a white male in his 40s. He is on the board of Watershed, the internationally recognised centre for film culture.
We held an online workshop where we used a Miro board to share what the investment principles were, and then we workshopped ideas about how we would adapt or refresh our strategy to better implement those. So it gave us an opportunity to get the widest possible engagement around ideas, but also broaden the board's understanding of what those principles are.
Mary Paterson is a middle-aged white woman with brown hair. She is on the board of Extant, the UK's leading professional performing arts company of visually impaired artists and theatre practitioners.
We've got a working group that's made up of some members of the board and some members of the staff that are specifically looking at our NPO agreement. And we also have appointed different members of the board who have specialism in different areas of that funding agreement. And they work directly with the members of staff that are delivering those parts of the programme.
We use a platform called Airtable, in which we have set out all the investment principles and the activities we are going to follow to meet those principles. And then we track our progress using a really simple red, amber, green process. That is then used more dynamically and proactively by the executive team throughout the year to manage the process.
We're exploring the idea of a young person's board member, and in particular how we can design that role to make it a really meaningful part of our decision making, and how we can make sure that that young person would be supported in the right way to play their full part in the board.
We've had a look at our reporting structures, the way that the staff prepare reports to the board, so that the board, when we are looking at projects and looking at what's happened with Extant, we're seeing that through the lens of the investment principles.
We include key priorities on the agenda at board meetings to keep that active discussion going throughout the year.
To make sure that there's a culture of dynamism, a culture of learning within Extant, is to give all the staff members their own budget for professional development, and they can choose where to spend that and how to spend that.
The focus is now on how we collect, manage and use data to give us a really clear picture of progress against implementing the business plan. And over the next year, I expect to see a significant step change in the quality and the reach of the data that we collect and use.
We wanted to launch this programme called Extant Evolve, which is thinking about the leadership of the arts organisation. Bringing in trainee artistic directors on 18-month fixed-term contracts with us. They have a tailor-made programme of professional development, and they're involved in every aspect of the organisation.
What are the external partnerships that we need to generate new sources of revenue and attract new audiences? We're thinking about philanthropy and giving and how we tell a story that will attract external sources of funding and donors. And we're thinking about how we can maximise the commercial opportunities available to us.
We've been looking around levers around profitability for us, so thinking about what a sustainable organisation will look like and how we draw the organisation together in terms of delivering the board programme, whether it is the cultural cinema, whether it is the creative technology programme. So it's that ability to respond quickly to changing audience needs and trends.
When we're thinking about capital redevelopment, we're thinking about energy performance, about how in a grade 2-star listed building we can adapt the building in sustainable ways and provide opportunities for local communities to come in and connect with nature.
We had already engaged a climate action researcher. We're currently looking at fundraising to review and improve the building to make it carbon neutral.
We have appointed an officer on the board for environmental responsibility and how we meet that. we've updated all of our policies. And really, if it wasn't for the Arts Council's lead on this, I'm not sure we would have started that this early.
When I think about our 2030 vision, we want Battersea to be a confident, inclusive, dynamic and open organisation that has seen significant growth in the range and the number of our audiences, that has grown a range of new partnerships and which is perceived as a place of quality cultural activity aligned with really meaningful community engagement.
So I think there are two main things in which we will have achieved much more significantly to the period to 2030. One is the use of the building and the space and our ability to coordinate activity across the organisation to deliver a much more sustainable building for the future. And another is how we can cooperate across the organisation and with the cultural community in a very positive way.
We've got ambitions and we've got ideas, and we're not doing any of this because of the investment principles, but we are doing all of it with the investment principles.
Commissioned by Disability Arts Online in consultation with Arts Council England.